I think the old magic found its way back into our world through a dream. Just a dream. Nothing more.
Your project is to identify everyone with talent?
Yes.
Even if it's just potential and even if they haven't used it yet?
Damn it, I shouldn't have told you.
Is that what it does?
You cannot breathe a word of this to anyone.
Amanda, do you have any idea what you're doing?
Yeah. Saving children.
We have to destroy it.
Are you crazy? That's my life's work.
A witch hunt machine?
Jesus, Whit. You were being so naive. This isn't some fairy tale. This is about saving people here in the real world.
Lock up when you leave.
Just a dream. Nothing more.
Okay, guys, ready?
Ready.
Ready. Ready.
Stage 1. Gain interior access without causing alarm.
What are you doing?
Elves get a 20% bonus when hiding.
Behind a lamp?
Elves are skinny bastards.
Okay, my turn.
These guys have had 15 years to solve this without players. They failed.
Do you guys remember the story of the gamers that disappeared from their table 15 years ago?
Urban legend that's as fake as the steam tunnel scare.
Actually, this one's all true. And you're holding their original character sheets right now.
Rogar, former barbarian scourge of West Haven, now a convicted
felon twice over and a homeless alcoholic with an anger problem. What the hell, Megan?
I have an idea. But it's going to take all of us working together. The main controls for the university's surveillance system are housed in the server room.
Where's my feed, Magellan?
Magellan will hack into the system, which should give us access to the campus security.
Why can't I just use another spell?
Hacking, magic, just do your thing. Why'd you steal his pants?
Which games do you remember forever? The ones where your character wins some imaginary gold? Or the ones where they grew into something greater than the stats on a character sheet?
No, don't care. This warrior is better off living drunk in the city park than being controlled by the mere gamer.
You are the gamers.
Do not interfere. A bard's duty is to observe and record, to preserve history in song for the enlightenment and edification of future generations. We allow events to unfold naturally, organically, and do nothing to influence their outcome. Where are your pants?
A mystery.
Who else disputes my rule? Now, I'll civilize you yet.
No! Everywhere. No, I got rid of you.
Epichlorian will come and save us.
Die, evil racers!
This epic is compromised!
No, we haven't!
Let's all eat a cow!
Saw this, they're not paying me enough.
Boy, I said! Zara!
My family isn't exactly the forgive and forget type.
What do you want from me?
No. It's what you want from me. We have much to discuss.
We haven't seen this Werner Herzog impression before, but I hope it comes out during the rest of the game.
I am available. I don't play the characters. I am a skin that is embodied by them. I speak words that leap from my mouth, carried on their thoughts as it enters the ether. I am not responsible. I am a medium. I assume we're live.
Yep.
Yep. Excellent. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday. It's my favorite Wednesday of the week. Void Jumpers, your favorite space opera, actual play, tabletop RPG. We'll be using this game, Monster of the Week, by Michael Sands. It's dope. Go check it out. We really like it because it lets us do kind of whatever we want and just gives us a loose framework to operate within. Excellent. Let's bring in the group. Yeah, good.
Oh.
Good. That's a good-looking bunch. I can see that most of you are on your A game today.
Most of us.
How can you tell that?
You're glowing. Most of you are glowing. I just always know Connor will be the one person to like question it when I say most of us. It just is a perfect setup and punch. Because
I get years of you, you know, breaking down my confidence in small, subtle ways.
All right, welcome everybody. Let's get through this. We left on a bit of a cliffhanger, so I'm going to see if we can get through this usual stuff, okay? Hello, welcome back. We're Void Jumpers, and we're happy to be here. Lisa Coronado.
What?
Are we talking about a donation this week, or are we not?
I think this week
I think we are not.
Yeah, the
Cool.
cause. Did Trin have a cause?
I have a cause.
Yes.
Trin, please take it away. Please, for the love of God, take it away.
Hey, everybody. So the organization that I want to talk about this week is something I am relating to the idea of a fire alarm, which is that it can be annoying when it goes off unnecessarily, but it can save your life if you have it and you are prepared. So what I'm going to direct you guys today to is an organization called protecttheresults.com. And that is an organization that is primarily focused on how we mobilize if there is not a peaceful transition of power. Again, hopefully this is information we won't ever need to know, but like a fire alarm, I feel like it's better to be prepared than to wake up on November 4th and go, what the hell do we need to do now? So I'm going to drop that org in the chat. I encourage everybody to just go and sign up and click through their links and look at the info that they have posted. Thanks, y'all.
Cool. Thanks,
Trin.
Thanks, Trin.
I'm just looking at my notes to see what I can skip and what I can't skip. Okay, so the only two notes before we jump into the game is that, Bryn, per the new magic rules, your magic counter is reset, as would yours be, Tag, if you used it. I don't think you did. And I, because we're rolling over some sweet rewards from last week, have two -1s that I can apply to any of you stinkers' dice rolls. So if I want to drop you down to a failure, I have the ability to, thanks to Wags, who hooked us up last time, and I'm keeping those to use forward.
All of us are doing that smile like when you hope that a teacher forgot a test that they had planned for the day. Like,
Jesse, we'll be well below -1 on all of our rolls anyway, so you don't get to use them.
Actually, what a great segue for me to say, I don't think that's true anymore for this guy. I'm going to be freaking rolling, pun intended, in the dough tonight.
Let's see it.
For those of you who have been watching the show, you are aware that Tag has struggled. He's been going through a tough period in his life, what with the recent emergence of his half-dad, who happens to be the center of all evil in the universe. I think over the past 2 episodes, I failed like maybe 11 rolls, and that was with chat really bailing me out. So our fearless hero, Merc, who was just, I think, plain tired of watching the embarrassment of my shambling fails, was like, damn it, Connor, that's the end. I'm sending you dice. So, behold.
Ooh!
Fancy. Oh, gosh! Very
boxcars. They just
very
land
heavy.
boxcars.
Yeah, I'm really feeling the weight of the luck in them. Let's just do a practice roll here. 17. These are good dice. So thanks, Mark. I really appreciate that. And now I have someone to blame if they don't roll well. So thank you for that as well.
Okay, we're gonna go into this episode. We're gonna try something new. I believe, Mark, you have queued up for us a little previously on put together by our very own Bryn the Summoner.
Oh, whoa.
Please get out of the sun. We have cold water. We have plenty of food. We'd love to have you. Welcome to Lost Shore. And you can see very clearly in the back of Tag's head a black eel-like creature about the size of a gardener snake.
So about that new band name,
Yeah.
I think we should call ourselves Snakes on a Brainstem.
They may not have any contact with the outside world right now, but I can guarantee you that everything that is happening right now is being recorded and will be reviewed later. So if you're going to do anything, you have to make sure that it looks like it never happened.
Absolutely. executing the experiment that resulted in what has happened to me. Are you insane?
Rex, I thought this guy was going to be cool. Is he not cool?
2-day-old greasy pork sandwich.
Ugh. Has it been refrigerated or?
No, it's been sitting out in an ashtray.
Yeah.
Hashtag tag
So you're. We're gonna come right back to. Oh, yes, we are doing that. Oh wait, I'm gonna get closer.
Welcome back to the spooky episode of
All new Void Jumpers, all new shenanigans!
Okay, that's all the fun you're gonna have today, you players, because we're gonna start. And Lisa got to be gross last week, but I think I'll be gross this week.
Okay.
So when we
The
left,
elevator doors open, there's butts everywhere. Human butts.
Really? That's exciting.
we love human butts. Okay.
Oh wait, are they attached to human bodies? Because otherwise, that's weird.
We're in a silly mood today, Chad. I'm going to just go ahead and call this the silliest episode yet. Good luck on your space horror, Jesse.
It'll be what it's going to be. Okay, when last we left off, you all were in an elevator. You'd been tricked, as I'm sure you guys would put it, by Air Dobbins into entering into the elevator with Norris, the lead researcher of the Lost Shore facility. It went down very far, so far, in fact, that regular technology could not protect you from the pressure of the ocean floor, and you felt magical enchantments kick onto this elevator before it hit the floor, much like your void jumper would to use to rocket from atmosphere to ground very quickly. When you did get to the bottom, you saw on the other side Fresca. She was wearing, I guess I had this prepared.
Was that really her name originally?
It wasn't.
I didn't think so.
I know how step you guys are, so I just relented immediately.
It was like Feltzer or something.
Feltzer? If it was Feltzer, I would have been saying that 1,000 times.
It rhymed with Seltzer. I'm pretty sure it was Feltzer.
It was either of those. It's now Fresca.
No, it's now Feltzer for sure.
All right, you're standing in the elevator looking out. Fresca is standing on the other side of the door, peering through the safety glass. She wears a high-tech suit, which appears to be made of materials which remind you of Puck's crystal exterior. She carries a light, non-trademarked laser sword in one hand, and a large drill in the other. What do you do? The elevator doors have not opened, nor do they look like they're going to.
Is it my lightsaber?
No, she just has her own, and it looks like it's a common tool used to work under the water.
But Rex made mine for me special.
Yes, and yours is fancier, but Fresca's is bigger and tougher. But it has zero sentimental value to her. It is just like, it might as well be a screwdriver. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Wait, did you say we're waiting for the elevator, or we're in the elevator and the doors have not opened?
You're in the elevator and the door's not opened. But you can see out, and you can see behind you too. I think in the waters far out, you did see some tentacles kind of waving. It's like you're in a safety glass tube. So you have a 360 view of behind you, the ocean floor, in front of you, a laboratory with Fresca standing there.
So like a shark cage, but just with walls.
Yes.
I think we should just read a bad situation, y'all. This doesn't sound good.
Please roll sharp.
That is a 10.
Okay, you get 3 questions. Ask them.
What's the biggest threat down here?
Norris, in the elevator, is standing at the back, and she does not seem to be interested in doing anything to you. Fresca does appear to be the biggest threat at the moment, though she is on the outside of a sealed cage. There is the tentacle creature, but other than being menacingly in the backdrop, it is not making any moves towards you.
Are there perhaps any other dangers we haven't noticed?
When you are looking around, Fresca steps towards the elevator and uses the giant drill in her hand to remove a panel towards the top of what you would think to be the archway of the door. She then hefts a canister off the floor, about the size of like a luggage, like a suitcase, and inserts it into the panel. She then starts interacting with it, touching a small keypad that is embedded into its metal side. She's not said a word.
Now, I don't want to be alarmist, everybody, but hello, nice to see you again, by the way.
Sorry about taking your Void Blaster.
What's up?
I'm apologizing to Fresco.
Oh, yeah. Brandon and I had a bit of a run-in earlier with some brain snakes, brain worms. I have to imagine that they're quickly on the way to the rest of us. It might not be the safest to be in this elevator right now.
Yeah, that seems pretty logical.
On the tail end of that, you hear a hiss, followed by a thick purple cloud of smoke, which starts to pour into the elevator through the panel that Fresca's just inserted that canister into.
Can I access that canister?
Yes, you could. There is a small panel above the door in which the center has been taken out of. It looks like some kind of reinforced grate that the smoke is coming through. So you would have to get through the grate.
I think I need to use some sick stunts and try and get through that grate.
Yes! We're talking shoebox size, so you're going to be working with probably hands and arms only once you get through.
Cool. Ooh. That's a 7.
I'm going to use one of my negative ones.
Oh no!
Thank you, Wags. Look at that.
Oh.
So what did you want to do? You wanted to do some stunts in a rather small...
I wanted to do...
From the satisfaction of taking it away from you.
But I want to give our listeners the satisfaction of listening to what could have been.
Yeah.
So they can know in the future not to give any of these awful things to Jesse.
Yeah, that's right.
So what I was
Let her
going to
rip.
do was like a sweet backflip up to the top of the thing and just like give it one strong like drop kick.
Okay. So you do a sweet backflip and do a big, strong drop kick, and then you bounce off of a very reinforced grate, which is built to withstand the pressure of the ocean floor, and you fall
I'm very strong.
in this cascade of purple smoke. It's falling off of this grate as if it's dry ice smoke, so it has some like weight to it, and it is now just pouring all over Rex.
#Rex not so fast big bad.
Actually,
Thanks, Wags! I was a +1 to Rex.
oh, you just got a +1?
Rex did, yeah.
All right, bank it. Use it when you think you can cross the threshold from a partial into a full. Yeah, so you fall into the middle of this big mess of smoke. And now Rex is lying on the floor underneath smoke so thick you can barely see her.
Oh god. I'm gonna put on my summoner's robes.
Okay, no problem.
Look at Fresca and I'm saying, open the elevator. That's an order.
She actually like kind of wipes some fog off of the glass and peers in and is like looking kind of like at you guys and past you guys and just kind of checking it out. She doesn't say anything though. She's got a big smile on her face.
I'm gonna
Sam.
telepathically. Oh,
Sorry. Sam?
I very begrudgingly take the Void Blaster and shoot myself.
Okay. I think you can tell us what happens.
Oh,
Just paint us a little word picture of how this all goes down.
All right, I have to just get out of Sam for a second and into just freelance narrative to share this without bias. As the purple smoke rises to about hip level, Sam realizes that his desires are irrelevant if he and his friends are all dead. And he, although in better circumstances might have the ability to think or talk his way out of this situation, the encounter with these brainworms seemed like this might be more of a do or die situation. As he makes the quick exchange with Bryn, who had previously taken the Void Blaster from Fresca, while she's putting on her robe, Sam takes the gun, places it against his chest, and pulls the trigger. Normally, you would expect his whole body to be thrown back or a big hole to be where the entry wound would be, but instead, a sort of crackle of purple energy spreads across his chest, and his clothes burn away, and black obsidian stone appears. It rips outward first, almost the sound of breaking bones as his arms extend outward. He doubles in height. His spine erupts in a series of scaled black monoliths until his whole body is just an obsidian statue. And what remains of Sam is now a much more friendly and charismatic individual whom the whole group prefers.
I don't know if Rex prefers Puck, to be honest.
That's it.
All right, enter Puck. Tag, that leaves us with you.
I'm going to try to open the door.
Okay. How would you like to go about that? What are you using?
I just want to try a normal way first, just an elevator door open button. Let's start with the basics.
The panel is there. You know how to use it. It doesn't seem to matter. Whatever it is has been disabled from... You're guessing upstairs, not down here.
Okay. Then I'd like to tune in to Feltzer's person and see what her intentions are.
Okay.
This is going to be my first roll with the new hotness. Oh, baby! That's an 11.
That's a full success.
It's been a while, I know.
Thanks, Mark.
Full success. Hold 3, and you can realign your target's thoughts. All right. Hold 3. You get to use that on the questions at the bottom of that list.
Right. What is she planning to do right now?
To convert you. But when the word comes through, it's strange because you would imagine this would be more of an auditory sense than like a telekinetic one. But the word seems scrambled at first. It's like you just hear a sucking, like slurping noise. But you do, in fact, hear convert in that.
Okay.
And she is planning to convert all of you.
Okay.
Except for the big rock person who she was not expecting to see.
I'm going to ask the same question, but with a focus on what this purple haze is doing.
Oh, it has nothing to do with you.
Okay. Question 3, tell me more.
You don't need her to, because you will have an opportunity to realign her thoughts, just so you know. But we are going to get... you hear a gurgle and a cough behind you.
Oh, shit.
It's not Rex.
It's Rona!
You turn around to see what it is. And Norris is standing there. She doesn't look so good, and it appears as though the gas is affecting her far more than it has any of the rest of you. If anything, you might feel slightly lightheaded, but the gas doesn't seem to be having any effect on you, including you, Rex, who's laying directly underneath a cascade of it. Norris is remarkably pale, and then she sags, her legs no longer supporting her weight. She does not fall, however, merely contorts in a way you wouldn't think possible. Her torso collapses in on itself as black liquid soaks through her lab coat. What do you do?
May I follow up on the tuning in that I just did to Feltzer?
Mm-hmm. You may.
I'm going to have her open the door.
Sure. So, this is the first time we've encountered something like this, because you 100% successfully tuned in to Fresca. But Fresca's not in complete control of her mind. There is another entity who's making the big decisions. That being said, you do see Fresca remove her face from the glass, inexplicably to herself, walk over to the control panel, and stop right before she presses the button. And Tag, you recall the way that you were acting. You had agency, but not complete agency over your thoughts and actions. And so you see her struggling there, and you actually start to see the blood vessels in her eyes pop because your roll was so powerful, because you rolled a full success. She is not leaving that place. She's just hoist over the open button and caught almost in stasis as she fights this thing in her brain which is stopping her from doing it.
Come on, Fresca. Come on, just push the button. One little tap. I'm just putting
Norris,
focus in that finger.
The next sound you hear is like somebody emptying a bucket of water behind you. And you all turn to see that Norris is gone, and in her stead, there is a large, squirming pile of black eel-like slugs squirming around on the floor. Dozens of them as they are writhing in the goo that was Norris. They are starting to make their way towards Rex, who is still on the ground.
Okay, I don't know what it's called, but what's that move that you can do where you just kick up from a prone position?
Kip up. We all see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel
You
like
kip
that's
up.
what happens next.
You're a problem solver. It's like day one shit to be able to do a cool get up off your back thing. So you're on your feet.
All right. Well, then I think my first move, I don't want to shoot anything because it could ricochet. So I'm reaching for Graflex and trying to smash as many of these things as possible.
Please do. Kick some ass. You will get your +1 because they do seem to be corrupted.
Nice. Thank God. That's an 8.
Okay. So you and they are going to exchange.
No, this is a 9, but that doesn't ultimately change anything.
Okay. I'm going to just make a note to keep myself honest. So we're going to say there's a little bit more than a dozen of these things. And Rex just goes ham and starts smashing them. And she does away with probably a quarter of them. And she looks good while she's doing it, too. And she's kind of swinging around and smashing some of the ones that are getting a little bit farther away from the clump. And then when she reaches over to smash another...
Hashtag swappy ooey ooey ooh, this is worse, this is so much worse. Brain worms, I gross, yeks, I nasty, I C K, 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 I C K.
Thanks, Mark.
I think Merc was telling us to kick.
I think it was kick.
Oh, that was $10 towards the GM swap.
Nice.
No.
Oh, have we said this is a new thing we're doing? Have we?
Oh yeah, we should explain that.
Should we just say what the deal is with that anyway?
Yeah, tell him. I'm not gonna.
Oh, Lisa?
Oh, sure. If
I thought we were talking about Lisa all along. When in doubt, if we could have one of the two of us explain something, it should always be Lisa.
oh geez, Louise. So if we hit $150 in a session, then Jesse will swap out randomly with one of the players. He'll take their character, they'll take GM for 5 minutes. So terrifying.
Man, that's gonna be a lot of level ups in that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You'll only be
No matter
torturing
who-
yourself.
Oh my god.
No matter who Jesse is playing at that time, I promise that I will be Air Dobbins.
You have god powers, you know? Dig in. All right, so she's smashing away, and she takes out quite a few of these things. And as she lunges over to catch one that's starting to go up towards the wall, Bryn, you do see that there is one that has made its way onto her back and is climbing towards the back of her neck.
The back of Rex's neck?
Yes, she has not seen it in the fray. There's so many of these things, and they're starting to scatter. So she's smashing them good, but now there's one on the back of her climbing towards her neck.
Ugh.
And you next.
What was it, me?
You next.
I am going to... God. I'm going to hit the thing with the Oh, words. They're hard. I'm going to talk to Tag without anybody hearing. And I'm going to say, we need to cut the eel out of Felter Fresca's neck.
Yeah.
I'm going to go help Rex. Somebody's got to subdue her so that I can cut that thing out.
Okay, it's I love the optimistic thinking that we're going to get out of this elevator alive and have free will to exercise any of these plans.
I'm not dying underneath the water planet. It's not happening.
If then I won't. I'll stick with you.
Yes, we're gonna do it. Okay, and then I'm gonna go run over to Rex and just grab the eel with my hand and then smash its head with my staff.
Sure. I think this is an act under pressure roll.
Okay.
You can do it, Lisa.
Is that tough or sharp?
It is cool.
Oh, well, that works too.
No, Lisa.
Yeah. Don't get mad at Lisa, okay?
Wait,
It's
I still
not
have a
our
+1
fault.
from last game. Can I use it?
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
to me, if people are paying for these pluses, they're gonna stick.
Okay, then I will use that one from Merc that came in at the end of the last game. So that's a 7.
Cool. Yeah. So it is going to be a mixed success. So you run over and you successfully grab this thing off of Rex, but you didn't say anything about what was happening. So in her fervor to smash them all, she lifts Graflex up over her head and conks you one, and you go flying back.
No,
Luckily,
I'm
it was
already
just
injured.
a bump. Because you're in a partial success, you're not going to take any harm.
Okay.
But instead of smashing this worm, you're now laying on your back, holding it above your face. And we go to Puck.
So there's 7 left free roaming and 1 trying to make out with Brain, yeah?
Indeed.
All right. I shall begin stomping around the room to crush as many of these as I can. I was going to get us out of here, but I figure if they get possessed, that's a bigger problem.
I love this image of Puck as like a giant toddler who's just stomping.
So,
ants.
it's okay, guys. I brought my galoshes. 9.
Okay. So you take out another good amount of them, and you are very toddler-like in this. It's all bottoms of feet and bottoms of fists as you're just walking around, smashing the ones that you can see. They're trying to get to grates, to outlets, to anything that they can get into to disappear, or they're moving towards your friends' ankles. And you do some serious damage on them. So now there are only 3 left. But in doing so, I don't feel like these things can necessarily deal harm to you. So in the exchange harm of kick some ass, I'm going to take a little leniency, so you're not necessarily taking harm. And since they can't, or they don't seem to be interested in you, Puck, as the same that they are interested in your friends, in the course of this, you do see the structural integrity of the elevator's glass walls start to be tested. You see a single hairline fracture. It just isn't taking well. It's compensated for the pressure that it's at, which is extreme. It's just not taking well to everything that's happening inside now with people smashing the walls potentially your increased weight. You know, like maybe it was calibrating to Sam's weight on the way down. And it's starting to feel the stress.
Oh, this is problematic.
Tag, it is you.
Okay. I would like to, a la Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi from The Phantom Menace, drive my bolt cutter into the elevator doors and try to cut a slow circle.
Okay. It's not going to be a problem because of the device, but it is going to take a roll to see how quickly you can get it done.
Great.
It's going to be tough, but you get a +1 because I believe that the tool gives you a +1 when it's being used as a tool.
Correct. That is going to be a 9.
Okay. You think that you will have it done in a full rotation of a turn. Whatever that actually translates to time-wise, by the time we get back to you, Tag, you will have a hole cut in this door.
Great.
And you start to see that the metal parts of it are turning into molten and just dripping down, and that the safety glass is actually, because of the magical enchantments, it's what's slowing you down the most, but you are starting to cut through it. It's just slower than you would have expected. Which circles us back around to Rex.
All right, so there's 3 of them left that are still squirming around, and then one that's still trying to make out with Bryn.
Exactly how I would have put it. After hearing Puck say that exact thing.
Well, not that the summoner can't take care of herself, but I do think Rex's prime directive would be to lunge directly at the one that is currently threatening the summoner.
Cool. And you are trying to grab it?
I think because I'm worried that if I throw something at it or trying to hit it with something, that I will hit her instead. So I think I'm literally just grabbing for it.
Cool. Roll act under pressure.
Oh no, that's only +1 for me.
You can do it.
11!
Yes.
Whoa. Tell us what you do. That's a full success. I got nothing to say about it.
All right. Well, it's a smallish elevator, but there's enough room for me to get a quick step in or two so that I can really launch kind of at a level that I'm going over her, and I'm just grabbing it out of her hands and then tucking to do a roll to really get it as far away from her as possible.
Okay.
And if I can smash it in the process, I will.
Roll kick some ass. Just to see if you can put the cap on it. You got away clean. It's not fucking with you, and it's not fucking with her. But let's see if you can smash it. What was it?
Not a smash.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm just gonna make a mark on my paper for no reason at all.
Okay.
Notice how Jesse's like, just why don't you roll kick some ass? Just see if you can put a cap on it, as if there are no consequences to that roll not going well.
Look, Rex would have wanted to do that,
Oh yeah.
She would have gone for it.
You reach back to get some good run-up speed and smash it into the wall, but when you fling your arm back, it just squirts right out of your hand. And Tag, you feel something hit you in the ear.
Oh no!
Oh, it has to be a mucous membrane? It just could have hit me in the shoulder or something? It has to hit me on one of the holes of my body?
Okay. Bryn.
Just remember this when you guys in the future are like, Tag, always getting himself into trouble.
Kind of. I love how Half Dad threatened me, but it's really you that's the biggest threat to me. I think he's working through you. I'm going to knock out Fresca so I can perform this surgery.
Okay, you're going to have to do it magic style, and you're going to have to roll well because the enchantments on this elevator that are keeping you guys pressurized are going to be affecting your ability to cast through the barrier.
I
Because
can't
she's
just
still.
smash her head.
Oh, the person inside the elevator is now a puddle of goo.
No,
Fresca's goo? I thought Morris was goo.
Fresca's outside.
Oh shit! This was inside this whole time. That's why I was so confused. Okay.
So you can do what you want. And she still is poised over the button. She has not moved. And if anything, her eyes are completely ringed in red now, as she's just, like, not moving.
Well then, why don't I just use magic to pull the eel out of her brain?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
You said,
Okay.
yeah, roll it.
That was an option when you sliced open the back of my head?
Well, that was more precision to make sure that you survived it. She might not survive because it could come out her trachea. I don't know.
Oh god, okay.
11. Yes!
Okay, cool. So let me just make sure I know what the hell I'm supposed to do when you use magic. You're gonna mark 1 because this is gonna go towards your magic cube now.
Got it.
I think it's just do one thing you couldn't really do. Most magic works without issues. Choose your effect. Okay, yeah. So you see. Yeah, it works without issues. Okay, yeah. So she's standing there, and in one moment there is this. You can't hear through the wall, but you can imagine because of what happens. Blood kind of burps out the back of her neck, and then a steady stream of black fluid shoots out, and then you see in the midst of it a solid noodly form fly backwards. She looks terrified and smashes her finger into the thing as though somebody had been holding it back and then let go very suddenly. So she smashes her finger into the thing and the elevator doors burst open. Tag, roll, act under pressure.
9.
Okay.
I'm never going to gain experience again.
You can either, in this moment with a partial success, I'll give you a choice. You can either not take harm or not deal harm to the elevator.
Because the elevator's structural integrity is crumbling.
Yes.
I healed you for 2, right? Or I stabilized you.
You did, yes. I am going to play selfish here, and I'm going to let the elevator take the damage in my stead.
Cool. So while you have your, what would you call it? Bolt cutter?
Lightsaber. A tool.
You have your laser thing embedded in this. As it opens and pulls you over to the side, it happens so quickly you don't have a chance to react, and it carries through into the side of the elevator where the doors close, and water starts streaming in.
Hey, everybody! Let's take this party outside. Elevators reaching the end of its time. Let's go.
It is going to be Puck's turn.
Well, I will try to finish off the last of the Wiggly Boys.
There are 3 Wiggly Boys left. Oh, and one that is, I forgot, fighting to get into Tag's ear.
Okay, I'll start with that one.
Thanks,
Okay,
man.
cool.
I really appreciate it. It's good to
You're
know
gonna
I've got a
roll,
friend here.
kick some ass. Or actually, how do you want to deal with it? That'll be up to you.
How do I want to deal with it?
Yeah, I don't want to just assume you're going to punch him in the head, so perhaps you wanted to do something different.
Well, I think this requires a bit more precision, so I'll make 2 big old skewers out of my hands and just start the old pincushion technique. Just some acupuncture to these nasty slugs.
Okay. That will be... So that's going to leave the thing still squirming around in Tag's ear.
Oh,
if you're starting...
It's in his ear?
There's one that Rex deftly, mind you, squirted into Tag's ear.
Ew.
Squirted? Come on!
Gross.
Can't, we're not squirting anything into Tag's ear. I'm just going to say that.
And then there's 3 wiggly boys making a break for it in the elevator.
Okay, well, I'm going to make sure that Tag doesn't get a second round of cerebral trauma, so I will just try to extract the ear invader, and I'll just do a horizontal skewer through it and try to extract it out.
Okay, that will be an act under pressure.
Act under pressure, a
plus cool.
Easy. 8.
Okay, so you manage to get it and kill it and safely remove it from Tag's ear. And
hey,
as you
thanks,
stand
Buck.
there,
It's nice to see you again, man.
I didn't recognize you with pants.
Oh, yeah, same old Tag. But, if you don't mind, I know that we're in crisis right now, but just put one of your priorities as keeping my pants on this trip if you can.
I'll see what I can do. I have a feeling something bad's about to happen.
Yeah, okay.
in the time it took you guys to have this conversation, the Wiggly Boys are gone. And there is still water streaming into the elevator. It is coming through a very small hole that it was made. It is just about the size of a $50, about the diameter of Tag's weapon. So once he turns it off and removes it, you've got like a garden hose of water just jetting into this place. But the Wiggly Boys are gone. Fresca is standing outside of the elevator. She has not really moved. She's moved her hands up to the back of her neck, and you can see blood and ichor kind of running down her forearms. She's looking at you, horrified, not because of anything you're doing. It just seems to be kind of a personal thing she's dealing with right now. But you will have to... I'm going to keep you guys in initiative rotation until you solve this elevator quandary. So that brings us back to Tag, who will actually have a turn now, not just a reaction to the doors opening.
All right, everybody. And I give Rex a hand up from her post-flip squirt action.
No!
Okay, I let her be back on the ground. Sorry, I was trying to be chivalrous. Y'all, let's just put. There's an airlock just 40 meters down the way. I don't know that it's worth the risk. If we aren't in time plugging up this whole thing could go under. I think we need to be on the other side of that door.
Yeah.
I concur.
All right, cool. And as we go out, I just grab Fresca by the arm and run her with us.
Do you want to try the door, or do you just want to bail?
Which door?
There's just the door to the elevator. You're kind of like in a landing, and it's like you say, 40 meters ahead. There is another door that looks secure, as if it would be a pressure seal. So it would be kind of like an airlock. But you are in an elevator. There are two other elevator doors closed and inactive next to you, and you're in a landing. I'm just asking if you want to fuck with the elevator door on your way out.
Didn't I bust the elevator door?
No, Lisa just opened it, and you've cut into it, and like put some cuts. So it's not perfect, but
Sure. Well, I will read between the lines of the GM saying, "Are you sure that before you flood this underwater facility, you don't want to just do this instead?" And we'll try the door.
You got it. It closes. It will not prevent a flood from happening, but it looks like if the elevator is going to fill up, this will keep it at bay for a while longer before it has to hit a second thing to get through. Everybody gets out of the elevator, no problem. Fresca is light in your arms, Tag, and does not put up any resistance.
I thought she was in power armor.
Oh yeah, I guess she is in dope power armor. You are unable to move her. because
shit.
she's in dope power armor.
She's in a prawn suit, I think.
Hey, Francesca, you were just possessed by an underwater monster, but we
That is the fourth name this character's been called. You don't have to stop. You do not have to stop doing it, but I'm going to bring it to your attention, everyone.
I apologize. I'm not good at pronunciation of gnomes. So we've now that we're all on the same page, you should come with us so you can avenge your possession. Yes?
She does not argue. She does turn on her heel and follow you at a slower pace than you imagine that power armor could carry her. But she also doesn't look energized to get some revenge. If anything, she just kind of looks like she's having a bit of a crisis.
Sure.
But you guys...
Understood.
You guys make it to the airlock. It is locked, but Rex's executive card gets you through. And then we are on to the next thing. Okay, you enter into a lab. This is the deep sea lab that you've heard about several different times. The first thing is, Puck, you recognize this place immediately. On the back wall, there are a series of cells that are in a half circle. You can tell that the room is a large circular lab, and on a semicircle of the back, there are large cells. They have glass like the elevator did that seems to be incredibly resistant, if not magically enchanted. They all appear to be empty. And then there's just a bunch of strange equipment in here. It's a large place, and you can't necessarily get a feel for exactly what's going on in the room. But Puck, you have spent some time here in the past.
This is where me and Seb met. They did all sorts of unmentionable things to us here. You should have seen it.
You've got such a, kind of a upbeat tone. It wasn't. I mean, it's not traumatic being back here.
Well, this is my first time ever returning here, so that's exciting.
It's looking on the bright side, I guess.
You're so positive.
Yeah. Anything we can do, Puck, to kind of support you? I guess. I mean, I imagine it's pretty.
High five.
Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Slap.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Tag.
Cool, man. Yeah, that was no problem. I'm cool. Yeah. Cool. No
Tag takes one harm.
Okay, I'm stable again. No, just kidding.
So as you close the door behind you, you do see the first bubble out of the slashes Tag put into the elevator door as water has filled up the elevator and is now starting to spill into the hallway. But the doors will at least slow it. You close the airlock, which will separate you from that wing of the place. And they are built to seal and separate. So if there's a breach like that, this will keep you safe. But going out will be a problem.
If we were to poke a hole in the top of the elevator before coming in here, would that allow space for the water to go up as opposed to in?
I don't know much about the way those things work. So I suppose if you are telling me with a straight face and honesty and love in your eyes, I would believe you, but it probably wouldn't
prevent it.
Do you want to try?
Well, is there any welding equipment? Is there any welding equipment or anything for this type of event? I'm sure they probably have some sort of backup system.
There is enough stuff in this lab that you would be hard-pressed not to find something you need to do that kind of work. So if you want to make a go for it, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'm a little conflicted, guys. I feel like we could probably save the station, but part of me also wants to see it sunk to the bottom of this ocean forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, here's what I'll say. You're a really positive guy. So if any part of you has an impulse towards destruction, it's
click, 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 click.
To me, that's an indication that that's got to be a pretty strong feeling for it to bubble past all of the gates of optimism and positivity that are just part of your character. So,
well,
yeah, if I can.
I was just going to say, having it be kind of like the lost city of Atlantis is not necessarily negative. It's just also new.
Yeah, that's cool.
What do you guys think? Shall we build an underwater castle, or shall we save the day?
Fresca speaks up for the first time and says, "It won't sink the lab. They'll seal it. But we won't be able to get out. That hallway will get cut off from the rest of the lab, but that hallway is the only way to the elevators, and the elevators are the only way to the surface."
Mm. Well, then it sounds like we have to save the day.
Don't worry, buddy. We'll get another chance to burn some shit down.
Yeah, remember there's a machine we can smash.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Start a small fire in a corner somewhere.
Yeah. Or we could all get together and smash the patriarchy.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So while they're having this whole discussion, I'm frantically looking for any medical supplies to treat the summoner's wounds.
This is a interesting place. So when it was being described to you, Air Dobbins said that Norris was the chief medical officer and that the hospital, which would be able to handle all of your injuries, would be in the deep sea lab. This is not a hospital. It appears
They
that
lied.
It was a lie. That being said, it looks like a lot of the experiments that they were doing down here required them to have the ability to keep people alive. So there is equipment down here that you could use to heal yourselves. Would you like to get a closer look around the lab?
Please.
Somebody
yeah.
Roll investigate a mystery.
Nah.
I'll do it. Wait, Connor, you have the sexy new dice.
Yeah, I also have a
these
negative
are-
1 to sharp, so.
Oh, fair enough. That's an 11.
Oh, perfect. You got to ask me 3 questions.
What is most useful to me here?
There seems to be a machine at the far back that looks like a tanning booth that you are pretty sure you have used before, Rex, when you've come back from missions that were especially brutal, or after you've spent time in an environment that was especially hostile. And you think that it's some kind of rejuvenation tube. It will require some doing for you guys who have no training to get it working, unless you were able to find somebody who knew how to use it. But that would be, if you're looking to heal, that would be most useful to you.
Okay. What is being concealed here?
As you are approaching the rejuvenation tube, excited to tell your friends who have been beaten the fuck up that you might be able to help them, you start to walk by the cells that are lining
A Rejuvi tube.
A Rejuvi tube. And in the cells, you do start to notice that they're not completely empty. In the first one you pass, I have some of this shit prepared. In the first one that you pass, there's an ash pile on the floor. It's still smoking. Within the ashes, you can see parts of human bones mixed in with some other strange bones. As you keep walking around to get to the Rejuvi tube, there is another cell in which there is a large puddle of water on the floor and what looks to be bones that are slowly liquefying.
God.
And then, when you get to a cell that's at the end of the line, you sense movement from within inside. There is the crumpled form of a human pressed into the back of the cell as though they are trying to hide.
What happened here?
Puck might be able to tell you more about the other cells, not necessarily the woman, than I would. There were some experiments happening here, but I think, Rex, you probably say that out loud. Puck, if you'd like to take a moment to explain some of the things we discussed behind the scenes the other day, you're welcome
sure.
to.
Secrets?
Yes. Okay, well, I guess I'll be your tour guide today. On the right, there are, I guess we sort of affectionately refer to them as torture cells. And they were the final resting place for unlucky humans, as well as many types of Spriggans and Tyne. The experiments run here by Air Dobbins was an attempt to either extract the powers from the Tyne, and I will just use Tyne as the generalized magical entity from each of the planets, to either turn them into Erixes to be harnessed into weapons or tools, or to combine them with humans to grant them powers. Unfortunately, most of these experiments did not work correctly and resulted in quite a lot of pain for quite a lot of people for quite a long time. For example, one of the Tyne from the Fire Planet being combined with a human, where the human had the ability to spontaneously combust. The only problem was they were still alive while it was happening. So, because now they were immortal and on fire, they simply burned forever.
That's awful.
It was not a very pleasant smell or sound to hear somebody being burned to death endlessly. Then you had a combination of water and a human, where the person drowned forever. As you can see, these experiments were unsavory, shall we say.
We could say that, yeah.
So you'll have to forgive me if sometimes I think the people who work here are a bit unscrupulous.
Having Puck say it in that really happy voice was way creepier than I could have ever done.
Silver lining. This is where I met Sam. He came to save me, but instead they tortured him as well. So, no good deed, am I right? And this concludes our tour of the underwater torture station.
Rex, what is this? Is this click your clicker?
What's the sound I made?
Just click,
click, click, click, click, click, click, click.
Yeah. Are you doing on and off with each click? Do you know if you've done it in even?
I don't know. It's just. I think it's a panicked clicking at this point.
What is?
We'll say that I clicked it to on.
Did you know about this?
No, I had no idea any of this was happening. And I turn to Puck and I say, if there's a way for us to get out of here and destroy this facility, do it.
When Rex finishes that sentence, you all sense movement again in that cell at the far end, and you see a figure approaching the glass. When she speaks, Bryn, you recognize the voice, but it's not you she's looking at. A woman, dressed in a crumpled lab coat, approaches the front of the cell. A scar decorates her cheek and stretches back up into the hair above her ear. Recognition flashes in her eyes when they meet Sam's. I'm sorry, Puck. I was not prepared for you to shoot yourself in the chest when I was putting these notes together. Recognition flashes in her eyes when her eyes meet Puck's. Puck, you recognize her too. And all of a sudden, you are Sam. You're lying on a metal slab. Your arms and legs are strapped down. Your clothes have been removed, and electrodes have been placed on your temples, your chest, inner thigh, and the bottoms of your feet. You can move very little. When you look to your left, relying primarily on peripheral vision, you see a figure similarly strapped to the metal slab beside you. Though this is where the resemblance stops. It's huge, humanoid, though made of black and purple crystals. It does not appear to be conscious. When you turn to look to your right, you see a woman, dressed in a plain white lab coat. A scar decorates her cheek and stretches back up into the hair above her ear. She looks at you, pity written plain across her face, and she says, "We don't have much time, but if you have any questions about the procedure, I'd be happy to answer them."
Yeah. Which one of these buttons lets me go?
I think with the time you've spent here and your numerous escape attempts, you know we are unwilling to miss this opportunity.
Yeah. All right. I guess I just got one question. What do you think he's going to do? I guess I can't do that. What do you think he's going to do to you when he gets free?
The entity, Puck, has been very informative. Though we've put him through far more, dare I say, damaging procedures, experiments, tests, he's done nothing to try and free himself. Though you, who has merely been analyzed and caged, for lack of a better word, has tried to escape nonstop. I do not worry about the entity Puck, and if we're lucky, maybe some of his sense will be passed on to you.
Well, can't say I share your optimism. All I can say is that I guarantee you, no matter what you do to me, somehow, some way, I will get my hands on you, and I will be the last face that you ever see.
I seriously doubt that. And then we're back in the room with all of you, and it's Puck, not Sam, staring into this person's face. Bryn, you also recognize her. This is Gwenig R. Marur, the chat name that was endowed to our character through the awards last time. Bryn, she's your... whatever you want to define it as. She obviously works here. In the vision you just had, Puck, of Sam's memory, she was the only one in the operating room. It would have been this space. It had been set up very differently, and outside you could see the forms of others, Air Dobbins, several other scientists, Norris, who were on the other side of a safety glass barrier as though they were in an operating theater. So this person who is standing in the cell in front of you is, in fact, the scientist who combined you with Sam. She looks like she's seen better days. Unlike every other scientist you have encountered on this facility, she is not smiling like the Mad Hatter.
I guess her brain's still intact. Is she? So she's in a cell?
Yeah, she is.
Okay, I go up to the glass of the cell.
She's just looking at you with shock.
Oh, hello again. It looks like our paths have crossed once more.
Fuck.
Oh, don't worry. I don't hold a grudge. That's Sim.
You're aware of him?
Oh, sure. He comes out and complains every now and again.
She looks very surprised to hear that, and some of that shock and some of that fatigue disappears as her eyes open, and she actually is kind of moving around as though she's trying to look past Puck. And she's just trying to get a view past him to the other side of the lab, and she's just looking for a line of sight.
I take a look around, see if I can see what she's trying to look at.
There is a strange device mounted into a large chassis, which has been... It takes up a large section of the room. There is little more than... what is it called when people have to go into those tubes after when they have the bends?
Oh, a decompression tank?
Yeah, it looks like a very large decompression tank that's been mounted vertically on the wall and surrounded with safety bars. And there is a view screen on the front of it. It is not a window to look into the tank. It is an electronic screen that's been mounted on the front. And she's trying to get a look at it, and the screen is on. And she's, it's a little too far away for her to see, but she's looking.
Ooh, Probably a good show. Let's take a look. We'll walk over to the view screen.
Okay. You can see on the view screen, Puck, an image of Sam. He's floating in a strange, magical, you would say, space. It's not outer space. It's not underwater. It's neither of those things. He's just kind of in an ethereal kind of place. He almost looks like a film negative, but you can see that he is very much awake and very much angry and trying to remove some kind of binds that are keeping him in place. They're not visible. They just seem to be keeping him in place, as though he's anchored to that location in this strange realm.
Sam?
He does not seem to be looking at you or anything, and he does not register your voice. And she says, he can't hear you.
Where is he?
Is this a live feed? Yeah, what are we looking at?
Let me out. Please.
How did you get in?
They locked me up.
Why?
They need an element of control, I think. Or someone who can fix their carriers. The converted. They can't.
What are you talking about? Who is they?
They. Air Dobbins. They. The thing that took over this facility. There's no way you got down here and did whatever you did to Norris without knowing who they are. Look at the back of her neck. And you turn to see that Norris is still just kind of slumped in her power armor on the floor. And there is...
I think you mean Frambois.
I meant Frambois. That's 5. Fresca. Look at Fresca. She's... You know who they are.
And Air Dobbins is one of them.
Of course.
Well, I don't know. You're talking about someone controlling them? Air Dobbins is controlling
something. It's a parasite, a creature. You haven't seen them?
Yeah, I step out of the shadows. I'd be like, yeah, actually, I've pulled a couple out.
Oh, God.
Hello.
Of course.
Of course, what? What are you upset with?
And she calls Bryn by name, having not been introduced.
What?
This is Gwenig. We grew up together on the Fire Planet. I haven't seen her for a while.
So you've removed some of them, the converted.
Yes.
You've seen them. They're a parasite.
Yes.
Are any of you... And she looks, trying to get a read on you. She obviously waves her hand at Puck. They can't interact with Spriggans. And she's looking at each of you intently. She stops while Rex smiles.
I smile
And
back at her just to be an asshole.
She points at first, falling for it, and then realizes that you're being an asshole. And she says, okay, good. Yeah, let me out of here, please. Let me out of here. I can help you. I can get you out of here. What do you want?
Boy, sure wish Sam was here. I know what he wants.
How do we let her out? What's the cage look like? Is it electrical lock? Does it need magic? What does it need?
One of the consoles nearby would be able to do it easy. Rex's card can pretty much do anything you need on this station.
So, I mean, I think we can trust her. From what I know, that was like 10 years ago. She was a good person.
Yeah, if you let her out, I'll do my very best not to rip her arms off.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What aid can you render us that you couldn't just explain to us from behind that cell where it sounds like maybe you belong?
You're hurt. I could help you. I know how to use the machines in this facility. I could easily heal you. Are the elevators working?
It's a complicated question.
Right, okay. Then I can help you get out of here. There's only one way into this lab, and that's through the elevators, unless you know how to leave through the employee exit.
Oh, okay. Well, so then it's through the employee exit. You just gave up your own game, my friend.
And Tag, you look around, and there is no other door to this facility than the one that you came through.
Gave up your own.
And I turn to Puck and I say, I think this one's your call.
Well, I suppose it goes like this. Can you separate me and Sam?
I could, yes. I could. But I'll be honest with you. I will explain some things to you, and you may not want to be separated by the time I'm done. But I can, if you choose to. If anybody on this facility could do it, it's me.
Well, it sounds like your arms have a better chance of remaining attached.
She knows that he's not joking, so there is no humor in her face.
And then I kind of glare at her and I say, at least for a little bit longer.
Okay, Bryn, if you trust her, Puck, if you want to see this through.
I want to open my compact and look at her inside of it.
Okay.
I have not used that yet.
Oh yeah, what does that do?
It's a magical item that you got from your mother, right?
Right. And
Did I
it
add it to
shows
your
somebody's
sheet?
true nature, I thought.
It does. It shows their true. So if you looked at, for example, I don't know what the appropriate wording is, but if you were to, on the Fire Planet, have looked at one of the Imperial, like elite guards who were actually Tyne in shapeshifter mode, you would have seen the Tyne in the reflection, not their shapeshift.
Okay.
So it does that kind of thing. It sees through illusions. Did I put it on your sheet?
I don't know. I wrote it down.
Okay, cool. Then yeah. It doesn't require anything. It just works because it's a magic item that is very powerful that a summoner gave to you. So what you see when you look in the compact is Gwenig's reflection as you remember her the last time you saw her. There is nothing about it that makes you think she is anything other than human. You do get the impression that the way this thing does, the way that Compact does its thing, is going to be tied to the perspective of the person holding it. So there will be accuracy. I'm not trying to fuck with you right now. I just mean like Tag would look through it. He would get a result that is equally accurate, but he would see something different. So you see Gwenig as you last remember her when she left, which was a human.
Okay.
Nothing else to it. Do you want to look at anybody else while you have the compact out?
Sure.
Who do you want to look at?
Who's down? It's just our party, right?
Yeah, you do have Fresca and your party.
I want to look at Fresca.
Okay. She looks to be completely human, but she is slightly transparent, as though her essence is lessening. And you get the feeling that has very much to do with the wound on the back of her neck and the nature of it.
Ooh. Okay. And then I say, does anybody else want to look in this? I'm not going to sneak a look at you. That feels very, like, not cool. So.
Ooh, I could definitely use some rouge.
Puck, when you look into it, you see Sam looking back at you, and he is disappointed. You are not anywhere near the reflection.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair. I suppose that's fair.
I'm just sorry. I'm trying really hard to be a hero and cool, but I just can't stop thinking about how far below the surface we are, and the fact that there is water pouring in outside this lab door. Puck, I want you to get separated if you want to get separated. I want to get rid of this slug worm, but I think we're in a pinch, y'all. I say
everybody roll your dice. Do not add anything to it. Tell me if anybody fails.
Yes.
Who?
Me.
Okay. And Rex.
No, I was wincing at Lisa's fail.
That's
I
just
have
a sweet,
mixed
empathetic
success.
face.
Anybody else fail?
No.
Puck?
No, rolled good.
All right.
Dang it.
That's one fail.
I'm distracted.
I'm just making myself a little note. Yeah, so you have some options. As of right now, it seems that the seal between you and the water that is flowing is holding, but you get the impression that that hallway will be impassable unless you want to open this one. You have Gweneg in the cell, who is offered to heal and get you out. You also have all of the machines at your disposal should you try and do something yourself. And Fresca is starting to come to and kind of move towards something over on the wall. It doesn't look to be a weapon of any kind. She's actually still armed and has not brandished any weapons towards you. It looks like it could just be like a first aid station or something.
I think we let her out. I think we let Gwennig out.
Great. I go to the control panel. I just start tinkering around.
The glass slides down into the floor, and Gwennig collapses out into the main room and says, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." Okay.
Gwen, we have a lot of questions. I'm sure you have a lot of answers, but we're on a tight schedule here. What do you need to separate Sam and Puck?
I don't need much. And she points over to a station that is next to that decompression chamber looking thing. And it just is, Puck, you remember it from your memory, 2 metal slabs that are just extending from the wall and a large machine with a rather big crystal in the middle of them that could have been, it's clear, but it doesn't look like it started that way. It looks like it has been since drained of color. You've seen these types of crystals before. They look like, this looks like a much larger version of an Eryx, if an Eryx was raw, instead of polished down into a marble. And it seems to be the focal point of the machine in between the 2 slabs.
But what did you mean they might not want to be separated?
That's a bit complicated. She actually motions to Bryn and offers to walk you over to the Rejuvi tube if you'd like. You're able to crawl in.
I'll also let chat name it if they have a more fun name.
That's a pretty fun name.
Juvatube?
Yeah, you can't beat that.
So who all needs healing? Okay, so what she's going to do is she's going to cycle you guys through the Rejuvi tubes one at a time, which will give you enough time to answer these questions or to ask these questions without feeling like you're wasting time. So you will be healing back to full and stabilized over the course of this. There is no cost because you did decide to release Gwennick. She knows how to use the machines. So she's going to start cycling you through, starting with Bryn. But while she's doing this, she says, if Sam and Puck get separated, one of them will remain in the phase state. That's what we learned was the cost of the transformation. And the problem is, I won't have any control over who gets left behind. It'll come down to the 2 of them and whoever wants to get back here more.
And they'll be alive and stuck there forever?
She points to the decompression chamber across the room where there is the view screen of Sam floating in that place, looking very angry. And she says, the development that we made with the entity Puck and his combination with Sam was it leaps and bounds into a realm of exploration that the company had not even scratched the surface of. And with this discovery, they've been prepping for travel into that place. When she gestures again to the view screen, you all very obviously, Tag and Bryn very obviously recognize it as the phase state. And so this thing here, and she points again to the machine, is some of their first technological leaps into it. As of right now, we cannot send a human who is not in some way tied to magic there without grafting an entity who is onto them. We were successful in some cases, though I think I would say you would disagree. And she's kind of looking at the ash pile and the water pile. Puck and Sam were our most successful attempt. Sam is in the phase state. He's able to travel in and out of it, not at will. We don't know how it works, but we know that it does work. In trying to separate the entities in the past, they destroyed each other to try and free themselves.
Well, that wasn't the good news I was hoping for.
Hey, sorry, man.
What happens if the machine gets destroyed?
We would be unable to perform the experiment here, but the company does have the schematics of it uploaded to the main database. It is well documented. It is being implemented on several other planets as we speak.
So is it just sort of like a lens into the phase state, or is it imprisoning Sam when he goes there?
We think that Sam is imprisoned because he has no magical ability of his own, and therefore has no way to interact with the world around him. His body, while we had the brief amount of time that we did with him here to study what happened, seems to be in a kind of stasis. It does not age. The brain is firing, but the body is unable to interact with what's around it.
No wonder why he's been so cranky.
We are suspicious that he is able to interact with this world through your perspective, because we are able to monitor his location in this phase state. We have installed a tracking device in him, so we know where he goes there when he gets there. But we can tell that something else is transmitting other than our device, and we have been hypothesizing that it's a connection to you here.
It's a lot, Puck.
When you left the fire planet, you left to study creatures that are here. When did that switch over to doing experiments on people? You're better than that.
It didn't switch over, Bryn. I was pursuing this work while we were together. I just am unable to discuss it with anyone, or I was, until my chances of survival dropped to -0, and so I don't really give a fuck about the NDA that I signed anymore. But back then, I didn't have a chance. We were experimenting on the Tyne.
Oh my god. Wow. And
So-
you're saying you can't fix you can't fix Puck. He just stays the way he is, or he loses one part of himself forever.
I can't fix him now. We don't have time. And he now takes you out, Bren. You are fully healed, and offers the Rejuvi. She takes you out and offers a Rejuvi tube to Tag, who climbs in and starts to heal. And she says, I don't have time to fix him now. I could, maybe with more information, with more time to experiment, but I don't have a timeline. They transferred him out. He was good enough, you know? A lot of what they're doing here, the baseline of what they need is an ability to augment their soldiers, their employees. You know, Puck can survive without any problem on the floor of the ocean, and he can labor without needing oxygen or tools. And so you see that suit, and she points to Fresca's mech suit, which reminds you of Puck. We built that with the research we were doing here on Puck. But they took him away. I was unable to study him. And even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to separate him. He's too valuable. That machine, and she points again to the decompression chamber on the wall, that's all they care about. You know, they discovered a rift out in that canyon, and she points to where you guess the distance would be, where those tentacles were. Or they discovered a rift, or the evidence of one where one had been, you know? And they weren't... What they were able to pull out of it, it wasn't much, but it was enough, okay? They don't care. Whatever was in that rift, that's what's gotten into the heads of everybody in this place.
We're
They don't
familiar
care.
with the rifts.
Yeah, they don't care.
Who's they? Ed Dobbin?
Hmm?
Who's they?
Rex
Eric
is so
Dobbin?
disgusted by what she's hearing that she walks over to where Franny is to try and talk to her.
Okay.
But sorry,
Yeah.
what did you say, Lisa?
I just said, who is they? Are you talking about Eric Dobbin?
Just me, the company, all of it. They don't care.
Company knew about this as well? Of course they did. Of course they did. They knew what was going on in Bloom, and they didn't care.
Yeah. It's a drop in the bucket for them. These outposts on these planets, they're the perfect place to do this because there's no indigenous humanity here to stop them. There's no rules. They can do whatever they want, and as long as nobody finds out. I mean, what were the chances of you being here and seeing this?
We were sent by the company.
Then I would be very careful about what you do or say in response to the things that you have seen here.
The thing, the big kraken beast outside, that's the mother networked into these little worms here, these eels? That's what's telling people what to do?
I don't know. I've been in here for a while, but we've seen a lot of strange and dangerous creatures at these depths, but we hadn't seen anything like that thing before the event. There was an explosion of energy.
Explosion of energy, you lost all communications. It's been happening a lot.
Yeah, so before then, we'd never seen anything like this. At least not the way that it is now, okay? But it didn't start the converted, the things. It didn't start them. They were throwing themselves into the sea. They were feeding themselves to it because they wanted to convert it.
Again, with your use of the pronoun they, who?
They, the converted, the people of this station. They were taking themselves one at a time to the roof of this place and leaping into the water. And at first, I didn't know what was going on. None of us did. But the population, the percentage of the converted crossed before anybody could do anything about it.
To feed themselves to that monster, and this all was happening before the communication blackout.
No. The people were being converted before the communication blackout, and it seemed like they were content to just take over this station. Whatever it was came from the rift, or the evidence of one. If that explosion was that rift reopening, the creature, the Kraken, like you called it, it came from there. But these converted have been here for a while before that event. And once that creature showed up, whatever it is about that thing, because it's not regular, it's not usual, it's something special. They wanted it bad.
That's probably where we came in.
So, but the event started happening before the explosion and before the rift, or the rift was always here.
We think it was an inert rift, the evidence of something long past. We did some readings on it. We studied it for a while. They were looking into it before I ever got here, and I piggybacked on a lot of what they found. But what I was dealing with was getting them the materials they needed to go out there and do their work. They think that it's been here for... I don't know if you've ever done a time test on the Tyne, an age test, and seen what that number looks like to see what Puck here would look like in human years. This rift predates all of that. Or it was like a plastic bag that had been sealed shut. We knew that it had been a rift. But other than probes and some very, very general experimentation, we could not cross through whatever it was. I believe when the event happened, that rift reopened.
Well, we need to close the rift. Take care of the creature.
It's in the middle of the water. It is at the bottom of that canyon, out past here.
We're pretty used to dealing with complications at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll help you.
Great. We could take it.
She now gets Tag out of the Rejuvi tube and puts Puck in, and the
It's
thing...
okay. I can't accept anything from you.
She understands. Getting there is not gonna be easy. But before we go, Puck, do you want to try and be separated?
No, there's a coin flip that Sam would be trapped in the phase state for all eternity, and his mortal mind isn't prepared for that. Right now, my main debate is whether or not I'll give in to his deep, deep desires for me to issue pathos to you.
Okay. She looks a bit nihilistic about the whole thing, maybe leaning towards some regret, but not much, and says, I respect your decision. If you want to ask Sam, I have a way that you might be able to communicate with him in a way that we haven't.
Oh, yes.
There's a podium next to some of the computers that are all kind of centered around this device that's combined them and the chamber where the viewing screen is. And there's a glass, like, cloche cover that she removes, and there's a pair of headphones. They just look pretty old, pretty beat up, and they're plugged. She goes over and plugs them into the decompression chamber. And she says, we've never been able to get these to work. We know that there's a signal, but whatever it is, we can't hear it. But if you want, you're welcome to try.
Puck puts them on like goggles, so they wrap around and puts them over his eyes. All right, what button do I press?
The effect is immediate. Once you close it over your eyes, you find yourself floating in that place in front of Sam, looking at him. And I don't play either of these characters, so good luck.
Yes.
All right. Question. While Sam is here, am I aware that I've been here before?
Yeah.
is it like a sidetrack of memories? Like now I recall that I've been here?
Yeah, it's like a second layer that gets added onto the time that you spend in Sam's brain when he's active. It's something that gets erased when you become active. You have memories of what Sam thinks and does and knows, so you can call upon them, but your actual existence is blurry. Now that you're here, you realize you've spent quite a bit of time in this place every time you're not active.
Oh. Okay. So I guess one of the things that Puck notices is that Sam actually seems happy to see him. That's, like, oh, you found me. Oh yeah. Oh, you big meatball, get me out of here. Oh yeah. Hey Sam, you look haggard. I didn't even know that was possible in the face state. Well, yeah. Hey, believe it or not, it's good to see us. So, what's the plan? How are we getting out of here? Oh, yes. So, about that, I suppose it goes like this. You, have a 50% chance of being stuck here forever. Oh. That's, not the good news that I was hoping for. What are our alternatives? That's about it. You're usually the one who comes up with the plans. I mostly just enjoy myself. I'm fine either way. It's up to you. Well, Jesus, this is pretty classic you. So, how are you interacting with me right now? You know what, Sam? Don't worry. I think this is a lot for you right now. I'll handle it. All right, see you later.
Okay. Bryn, roll a tough check.
Shit. Ooh, 7.
Okay. Okay. You take 1 harm.
Oh wait, but I had healed, thank God. Okay.
What did she take the harm from?
Yeah.
She doesn't know. She just doesn't feel very good.
It's a wiggly boy. It's a wiggly boy.
I love that
there were 3 other missing in action wiggly boys.
My ears won't pop. It sucks.
What, Bryn? What's happening? You just flinched, and are you okay?
I just feel super disoriented. I'm a little dizzy. I don't know if it's from being underwater for so long. Maybe we can get up to the surface.
I think that would be a great idea. Let me take a look at her in the phase state.
Sure. She looks regular. There is a strangeness about her, but whatever it is does not seem to be in a state where it is broadcasting a complete version of itself. So there is something off about her, but it seems to be you are catching her in the transition to something.
Is it love?
That's for you to find out, my man.
Okay. Yeah, Bryn, you look not so hot.
Oh, thanks.
No, you look great. I'm not flirting.
I'm just fucking with you. I don't feel so hot.
I don't know when you're fucking with me. Puck, what's the story, my man? What are we feeling about this procedure?
Oh, well, yes. It seems like the odds are 100% likely to be entirely favorable for one of us.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I know how important this was to you.
Oh, not me. To Sam.
Well, that's very kind of you to work on his behalf. Look, I like she said, this isn't the last opportunity. I don't know a lot about science, but I have a fair grip on magic, and I think that we can figure this out. I guess maybe just pass the message to Sam, or I will.
He'll be fine. He doesn't remember anything once he comes out of the phase state, so he'll only be angry when he's there.
You can see on the screen, Sam is just like, yeah. Gwennig speaks up and says, it doesn't have to be the only chance. And she goes over to one of the computers hooked directly into this machine, and she starts typing rather quickly. She inserts a disk into one of the slots and types some more and takes it out. And she puts what looks like a kind of a clunky retro flash drive into a lanyard holder and hands it to Puck and says, "This is the design for the machine. So if you can get it to somebody who knows their way around the combination of magic and science, you might be able to recreate it or fix it. I don't know. What we have here is broken, it seems. And so here," and she puts it around your neck, Puck. She says, "Don't lose that, because I won't be able to get you another one once we leave. But there you go. It's in a little waterproof case. I'm not gonna trick you. It's not gonna get wet. Just don't fucking punch it. Tag."
Someone in this group that punches everything, and it is not Tag.
That's true.
So, Bren rolls sharp.
Oh boy. 5.
You feel good. Whatever was bothering you before is no longer bothering you.
Good. I'm gonna walk up to Gwennig and out of reflex, go to put my hand on her shoulder.
She actually kind of flinches back.
And then I realize, could you get us to the surface?
Yes, it won't be easy, but I think that I could. Getting back down here will be nearly impossible without those elevators. We don't have a craft that can travel to the floor. So if you're going to do something with the rift, I would recommend doing it while we're down this deep. But she walks over to the wall and opens a really cool thumbprint thing and like these 5 lockers, just like, and inside them are 5 more of those suits.
Yeah!
And she said,
Twitch stream ever!
Bronze suits! Yay!
She says, if you want to use these suits, these can get you to the rift. I can stay here and prepare a way for us to get to the surface. It's not going to be easy.
What about all the converted, the Air Dobbins and whoever else is here? You're in danger, are you not? I mean, there's still at least a handful of people in this facility.
I believe that this laboratory has been sealed. The only way in and out is going to be the elevators. 2 of them are still functioning, but the hallway between us and them is completely flooded. She spins a monitor around and points to it, and you can see a big red X in one of the elevators and the hallway. These are the areas that have been locked down. And there's actually several other areas of the facility that have been locked down as well, which starts to make sense to you because everywhere you've seen has been like spick and span. And you can see that the way that they've maintained this place is they've just condensed the livable area. And they've just locked down places that you can see, say, like fire damage. There are other places that say, like, water breach. Like, there's a bunch of stuff, and it's all been locked down. But you can see,
There's
like,
a room that is just covered in blood.
Yes, blood, bathroom. And so the places that you've been were in a pretty condensed labyrinth that you've been running through. So she says, I've been in this prison for, I don't know, 4 days, and I haven't seen anybody since. I don't think they were going to leave me down here, but I think that they weren't going to worry too much about my feeding schedule. So I think I'm safe here. I'd be happy to go with you, but if anything happens to me, you'll have to find your own way to the surface.
Do you willing to take that risk?
Yeah.
Wait, I can swim up to the surface. Maybe I can transform everybody.
Bryn, roll cool.
Oh,
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
9.
Okay. You just like don't really feel like helping. You're not gonna resist being a part of the plan, but you don't really feel like helping.
Forget what I just said. Forget what I just said. It's a terrible idea. I'm not gonna turn into a fish.
Wait, why do you think why is it a terrible idea? I thought it was a great idea.
Well, I mean, that's just me. I can't really turn everybody into a fish, and that's really selfish.
Wait, what? Why are you talking?
I don't know. You guys are smarter. You guys will come up with something.
Rex is picking it up.
Okay, let's start to suit up, everybody.
Okay. It's easy. It takes some time, maybe like 5-10 minutes. Sorry, what did you say, Tag?
I just wanted to make an event happen so I could have a word with Gwennig.
Sure.
I also wanted to talk to
Fresca.
Friendala.
Yeah.
Grand Dresser.
Let's pause here because I have to pee so bad, and all this water talk is only making it worse. Let's take a quick 2 minutes, and then we're gonna jump back into these scenes while you guys suit up. It'll be a cool, like, putting on your armor scene while you have these conversations.
Great.
Right. Quick 2. See you back in a second. I gotta pee.
Just said a freaking summoner to the freaking summoner. I just did it again. Of course you're able to protect yourself.
Here, I hand him the tea. Take a sip.
Okay.
Can you slice the cheese? Does it slice cheese?
And I stand back a little bit and I say,
Don't cut my hand off.
No, I'm not gonna. Why would I just throw the cheese in?
I say, we're gonna call our mothers.
My mother's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, my mother's gonna. Yeah.
That's okay. I don't have a. It's not my job to make friends, but one day.
Well, I consider you my friend.
They collect wives?
Ex-wives.
Ex-wives.
Yeah, not deliberately. I tell you, every one of them was the one. Does that thing make whiskey? Hutt raises his fists and says, "It's a 2-drink minimum."
I bear hug him.
That is what I was hoping you would do!
And I go, ah! Breaking sound!
Maybe I'll pick up this mangled robot. I'm like, you're coming with me.
Oh my! What an interesting choice! Naylan is my first name. Junge is my last name.
Okay. Mr. Gunge.
Junge. It's a
Mr.
soft G. He looks at the summoner over your shoulder, and this robotic smile fluctuates and goes, I'm not sure its capabilities will be able to immediately fix all of the ailments of your party. I realized that me taking the form of someone close to you would put you at ease.
Well, that didn't work. I feel much more ill at ease.
Oh, well. Whoops. Okay, and we're back. So the lockers slide towards the ceiling and reveal these really sweet fucking mech suits. And you all start climbing into them. They're pretty easy to put on, but it's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes for each of you to strap in. Which will allot you, Rex, a moment to speak with Fresca if you'd like. She does not, as of right now, appear to be going with you.
Cool. So I think what happened was after hearing that the Tyne and everybody else were being experimented on, that Rex engaged in some classic anger management techniques by just knocking over and smashing a few things in the lab. After hearing that the Tyne and everybody else were being experimented on.
You getting that wicked echo?
Yeah, getting that wicked echo.
Yes!
By just knocking over and smashing a few things. Hearing that the Tyne and
We're having a little technical difficulties, y'all, so excuse us.
getting that wicked echo.
Oh, fuck!
Wicked echo.
Okay. As for Rex.
All right. As I was smashing things. And then, it's the kind of like classic hunched over a desk, just like the heavy breathing, the trying to get your emotions under control without destroying absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm.
I look over and I see, Falula out of the corner of my eye, and I kind of stride up to her and I grab her by her collar. I mean, she's injured, so I'm trying to still be mindful of that, but I'm also still very angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, how could you do this? How could you be a part of this?
She does not resist. She lets you just kind of pick her up. You don't have as much of a problem kind of manhandling the mech suit. And she says...
Woman handling
the mech suit. She says, what do you expect, Rex? She's like looking at your insignia, and she says, you think that using these advancements in the field keeping yourself safe with them, hurting others, isn't enabling this kind of research or begging for it. I was keeping you safe. You want to know how I sleep at night? I don't. But I was keeping you safe.
And I'm staring her down, and you can see that there's just this fight to like that I'm equally feeling responsible and guilty, and a lot of what I'm experiencing right now is that I'm directing towards her is things that I'm feeling that I'm just trying to shove out onto somebody else. And I just look her in the eye and I say, well, not anymore. And I don't know what else to do at this point, but she's still in that big heavy suit, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to have some way to like lock her up so she can't cause any more harm because I don't trust her.
She won't be resisting. So you can do. There are cells here. So everybody roll a straight roll. Bryn, you're just going to be rolling plus charm.
Plus charm,
Plus charm.
which is -2. So cool.
Perfect.
That is 2 for me.
Cool.
That was an 8 for me.
Okay.
7.
And you,
Casey? Casey?
I mean, how does numbers are sort of abstract? You know? It's one of those classic
4s. Okay.
But an abstract form, Jesse. You know.
Yeah.
Sorry, an abstract form. So
it's a
you
cool
can
rolling
see,
away for.
You can see that the door that you're standing next to, Rex. This is a direct result from Casey's failure. That there is a small puddle of water forming at the base of it. The beginnings of something. It's the seal that's supposed to be protecting you from the hallway. You can just see that there's condensation on the outside of it that is starting to form and make water puddle at the bottom of the door. Nothing is going to happen immediately, but you get the impression that it's not going to be as infinitely safe as you thought. You want to lock up Fresca?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want her to consign her to. Maybe I'll turn this to the group and say, like, listen, I don't know what to do with Fresca.
I think
I'll just say, as somebody who had a brain worm, I was not in control of my actions at all. I don't know Fetzler personally, but I know that I was not myself, and I would hate it if I was held responsible for the things that those creatures did using my body.
Maybe tangential, but a lot of the things that she's being held accountable for were done. You're talking about old hole in the neck. Yeah.
Old hole in the neck.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think she's on the straight and narrow. One thing we need to be aware of, though, is that maybe secure or escape out of here first, and then going into the rift.
Do you have any ideas, Puck?
Yes, I could use this one to goulash to plug the hole.
I guess I don't know as much about goulash as I thought I did.
Gwynnig? Gwynnig.
Oh, Gwynnig, yes, but... Oh, you were saying her name.
Yes, we should maybe secure and make sure that there's a way for us to extract ourselves out of here first, and then go take care of the potentially lethal, immortal giant squid at the bottom of the ocean planet.
Are you proposing using her body like some kind of caulk?
I mean, if it comes to that, yes, but she may have some techniques to repair it more suitably.
She speaks up and she says, actually, what I'll be spending the time doing is trying to hack back into the system. Part of the problem with the security overrides here is that the system shuts down to prevent human error because the system realizes people will be trying to save themselves and further compromise the integrity of the facility. So once the system goes into emergency mode, the facility takes over. So your executive card, my card, they won't do anything. So what I need to do is I need to break into the system and convince it to open the door back into the flooded hallway. With our suits, we will be able to cross through the hallway. And then I will also need to prepare the elevators to come down and get us and take us back up. So I will be doing a little bit of hacking, I guess you could say, but it's mostly computer work and it's going to take some time. The company doesn't like its employees to save themselves over its facilities. So it will be a little difficult for me to convince the facility to open these doors and send us an elevator. The suits will be required. We will be entering flooded sections of this facility. It will still be extremely dangerous, but the elevators are the best way to get to the surface.
I'm really excited for this. Tag's kind of like in the corner, halfway already putting his on, and then he sees that the group is looking at him, and he's just like, well, I just wanted to see if it fit. I just thought I might as well. He's kind of like doing little tappy toes because he's so excited to put a mech suit on.
Yeah, she actually types a couple commands into that key, into the keyboard, and there's a section next to the lockers, which the panels in the floor depress and then split open, and you can see water there. And she says, you actually will be walking right here. At the end of the corridor that's submerged under this room, there's a lift is the wrong word. It's not quite an elevator, but it will take you from this tunnel beneath the surface of the sand to the ocean floor. You'll be able to exit and come back into this lab through this place. You will have to cross the ocean floor on foot using the suits. There are dangers out there. I'm not going to lie. I need you to survive. Not because I give two shits about any of you. And her eyes kind of linger on Bryn for a second. And you get that maybe she's not telling the truth about that particular thing. But she says, I will not be able to get back up to the surface on my own. I don't care about you, and I don't care what you're doing here.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. You
So
don't care
just
about us. We could do okay. So horrible motivational speech. Horrible.
Is there any beef jerky in this joint? I'm hungry.
She pulls out a pack of beef jerky. It's like shark jerky, so it's very salty and kind of weird, but it does the trick. And she
Perfect.
hands it to you.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna take it.
What is Bryn, what is going on? You're acting like you just listened to Avril Lavigne's debut album for 24 hours straight.
Because I wanted jerky? I'm hungry.
Look, I say this to you as a friend, but you got a little toot right now.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll just rein it in. I won't talk. Is that okay? Is that better?
See, that reaction right there confirms for me you do indeed have some toot going on. I would like to read a bad situation because Bryn is one of the most open-hearted people I know, and she's acting a little tooty, you know?
Sure.
Little attitudey Judy.
Little tooty.
Roll
Unfortunately,
that.
I'm not the sharpest. This is a sharp roll, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Oh, come on. Power die. Okay, that is a 7.
I'm going to use my final -1 to
You
drop you down
son of
to
a
fail.
on the new I was gonna go my first session without failing anything.
Wags paid some cold hard cash to hook me up, and we're nearing the end of the session. You can't take it with you.
I respect it. Respect it. You can take it with you, though. Just remind everyone, it does carry over week to week.
You can't take it with you.
But just again to remind everyone, you can't take it with you.
So
this is, in fact, from last week.
At that moment, you are actually pushed roughly aside as Fresca charges past you, Tag, and right at Rex. Rex, roll act under pressure.
Yes, I misspoke about old Franchise.
Okay.
12, 13, 16, 19, 24.
I don't have a cool rollaway chair.
All right. The
like
fadeaway
the
4, we'll call it.
4 is the
Yeah, I like that. Fadeaway 4.
Fresca collides with you, Rex. You take 1 harm as the two of you smash into the locker where you are still retrieving the second half of your diving suit. And glass breaks, and it's not great. But you do take 1 harm. And Fresca is now pummeling Rex in the... Rex, you have like some kind of armor on, don't you?
Yeah, I have like a security vest.
She's pummeling you in the torso. So that harm came more from...
She only got the jump on me because of that mech suit. I'll just have everybody know.
Are you saying this while she's punching you? She's like, yes. Ordinarily, I would have totally deflected that.
The harm that you took came from crashing through the locker and cutting your face. Her punching you is not actually hurting you.
Wicked cool scars.
That's up to you, kid. I don't do character design. Rex failed her roll. What would the rest of you like to do?
Eat jerky.
Actually, Bryn, you are... The only thing you don't feel like doing is going out into the water. So you don't need the help, but the only thing you don't feel like doing is going outside.
Going outside? Yeah. Oh, well then I'll stick my staff into the wound in Fresca's neck.
As like a poke?
Yep.
Gross. Roll kick some ass.
This is if anyone watches The Good Place, it's like we've got bad... Oh, shoot, what's her name? Bad Janet. Yeah, bad Janet.
Bad Janet. Oh my god! What do I add? Tough?
Yeah.
Wait for.
You just stick... You try to do this move, and you just like get knocked to the side because they're just... Rex is half clad in a mech suit. Fresca is in a full mech suit, and you get tangled up and kind of fall into the midst of it too. And you also get cut by some glass and take 1 harm. And you are just now trying to make sure that these people in mech suits don't roll on top of you.
Get off my summoner robes.
I'm gonna walk over and try to crush her head.
Frescas?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's escalating.
Kick some ass.
I haven't been marking experience. God.
7.
Okay. You go to crush her head. She sees you coming and grabs your wrists. And then you crush her head. Rex and Bryn are underneath her and catch some of this mess. There is a bit of black ichor mixed in with it. It does not seem to be a dominant portion, but merely whatever was left in her system from being controlled. The interesting thing is, Puck, when she grabbed your hands, she put no force behind stopping you. And Rex, now that you're thinking about it, she was just punching you in the armor. And you get the sense that she wanted this to happen. And so you're all, and Gwenig does not look cool with this situation at all. She is definitely not an evil scientist in the traditional sense, because she looks like that just fucked her up.
Okay, that's never really the sight you want an imploding skull specifically before venturing into unfathomable depths. But here we are, and we still got a job to do.
Sorry, I feel like I killed the mood here.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that was gnarly, man. I don't know. That was gnarly.
Well, I will put this so it's out of sight, out of mind.
Just chucks the body.
I hand him some shark jerky. Can you eat?
I mean, she is out of mind.
Ew.
Gross, Rex.
That is the grossest thing that we've done tonight on the whole stream.
Comedy experience.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so you guys separate yourself from this. Gwenig goes over to meet you by the doorway that leads down into the water. She looks very, very shaken and quite pale. She's returned back to the person you first found in the cell, who is no longer riding an adrenaline high, the excitement of being rescued. And she looks to Puck and says, "It's very important. I imagine that you are able to transform into Sam because we have seen you on the screen. But if you are going into the water using only your natural abilities, it is very important that you do not transform back into Sam while you are on the ocean floor, because the pressure will kill him immediately."
Oh yeah, he'd be crushed. He'd be crushed flat.
Yes. And that's all she says. So unless there's anything else you guys want to do in the deep sea lab, you are about to exit onto the ocean floor.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm just going to go up to Gwenig and say, how did you get the scar? You didn't have that when I knew you before.
I got it the week that I shipped out. I was in a bar on the Void world, and I was on a hopover between our planet and this one, and I got into a fight with someone who had words that I didn't appreciate about summoners.
Oh.
And they sliced my face with a broken bottle.
What'd you do back?
I crumpled to the floor, passed out, and woke up in the medical wing of one of the company facilities because somebody slashed my face open with a broken bottle. What would you have done?
I don't know.
Way cooler than that. She's a summoner.
All right. Cool story.
Sounds like you really wussed out.
Did you hit them before they slashed you?
I hit him quite a few times, yes.
All right. That's all I was checking for.
Tag, you wanted to do something before you leave?
Yeah, I want to solder or affix my scrapper blade onto the arm of my mech suit.
Sure. Gwenig will just help you do it, so there is no roll required. You now have a Scion blade, like from StarCraft, to use your non-intellectual property cutter laser weapony. And she does it pretty quickly, actually. There's just like a swap out piece that they do stuff like this. She just like swaps it out and like fixes it into your thing.
Is there any other tech we should know about on these suits? Any like boosters, propellers, little Inspector Gadgety things that pop out? Anything like that?
Defensive lightning.
I assume that they're hooked in to. We're on comms with not only each other, but you back here in the lab.
You'll be on comms with each other and me in the lab while you're in range. Once you go down into the canyon, I will be unable to speak with you. There's something about the area that interrupts communication, but it will be a considerable journey just to get to the canyon's edge. There are propellers. You can use them in evasive maneuvers. Mechanically speaking, I'm making this up as we go. You can sacrifice an upcoming action to use the evasive jets to completely negate damage. But it will be costing you a turn. Also, she goes over to the wall and she says, it looks like you guys have some pretty cool weapons. None of them are going to work under the water. She points to Graflex and says, that one might, but it's going to be pretty slow. And on the wall, there are these specialized rifles. They would look like harpoon guns, but you can tell that they're going to fire some kind of combination of void and water energy. These will work underwater. And she gives each of you one of these, we'll call them, for lack of a better word, void harpoons. They do 3 damage, armor piercing.
Is there one left over?
There's like a rack of them. What do you want to?
I want to give Rex a second one.
All right, cool. Rex, you have 2.
I just want to hand it to her, kind of give her a little wink and say, I think you'll know what to do with this.
Okay. It does not pierce magical armor. It pierces regular armor that would apply to like natural armor from creatures like you've seen before, but not magical barriers. So yeah. That's, you got some shit to go underwater. For once, you guys asked for cool stuff right before you did something dangerous. I'm so proud of you, Tag. Just making a note.
And we're mostly healed.
Well, no.
That's why I said mostly.
Okay, so you all put on your helmets. She shows you how to seal them. Yes, Puck.
Can Puck fit in one of these suits? Because even though he can survive down there, his maneuverability wouldn't be great. So if he doesn't fit, I think he would try to transform back into Sam.
Okay. She can help you you wouldn't be able to fit into the suits. You're just too massive. She would be able to assist you in transforming back into Sam.
And unknowingly signing her own death sentence.
She leads you over to the machine that you are familiar with because it combined you with him. She just hooks you into a few electrodes and then flips a switch when she asks, like, okay, hey, I'm doing this because you want it. And when you're ready, I flip the switch, you're going to be Sam. So you tell me when you're ready because I don't want any shit. Okay. She flips the switch and the electrodes remove all of the glowing energy from Puck's crystals, and that crystal that's embedded in the machine fills up and glows with void energy. And lying on the slab is Sam. She just puts her hands up and doesn't say anything.
Sam gets up and heads over to the suit rack.
Okay, you suit up. She doesn't push it. There's no apologies from her, but she's also not fucking with you. So once you're all suited up, each of you head down into the water. It is going to be a small hallway that leads to a little lift. Like, it's more of a platform than anything. But as Tag gets his head under the water, she does grab Bryn's arm for just a moment.
Yeah.
And she says, Bryn, I know we didn't leave off on the best terms. And she's leaning in to you and kind of getting into this very intimate space. But I think about you constantly. And there's one thing I know about you for sure. You have never taken the back seat on a plan, ever. And she very quickly reaches into your suit underneath the mesh and grabs something on the back of your neck. Bryn, you want nothing more than to stop her from doing whatever it is that she's doing at any cost.
I'm gonna grab her face and stick
Okay.
it right in mine, and I'm like, really? You thought about me? You didn't message me for 10 years. You ignored me. And then I'm just gonna shove her.
Okay. Roll kick some ass.
This has not been going historically very good for me. So let's hope. Mother. What is that? +10?
Oh boy.
It doesn't matter. It's a fail. It's a 5.
Okay. In this instance.
Well, maybe it's good to fail in this context.
That's another experience point. I'm gonna level up here pretty soon.
It's actually worse for you if Bryn succeeds. So you grab her face and feel this surge of strength almost coming from the back of your neck, racing down into your hand. And you shove Gwenig, and she flies backwards and smashes into one of the computer consoles. It didn't seem to be one that she was doing important shit on, but she wrecks it. And when she hits the ground, she doesn't get back up. And you step down into the hallway and smash the button that closes the doors over the top of you. And you guys all start walking towards the lift. Lights click on, but you can tell it's going to be very dark down here. You cross
And
maybe
nobody else saw this happen. This was just Bryn who saw this happen.
just Bryn. Everybody else was already in the water. And it didn't take very long either. She comes down a couple seconds after Tag. And you guys head towards the lift. It's like 30 yards out. This is a hallway that you can tell was built by the company and put underground. It's since accumulated some sand on the floor, but you can feel metal underneath your feet. And when you get to the end, there's a small circular room with a red button. You smash it, and the platform raises to the ocean floor. You can see that you are on the ridge side. You're on the same side of the facility that the elevators were. And so, looking straight out, faintly in the distance, you can see as though lit from very far below a ridge line, a blue glow that reminds you of water energy, and a foggy waving of tentacles flowing in that place. It's probably 200 yards away. You have ocean floor between you and the ridge line, and it is very dark. In the distance, you can start to see the glow of what you take to be phosphorescent bulbs on some kind of predator fish. There's not much else going on down here. You only have, besides being able to see this strange silhouette in the distance, because it is lit, you can only, your flashlights penetrate maybe 20 feet in front of you when you're not looking at that light in the distance. What do you do?
You're muted.
I want to look out for different, essentially predators, underwater creatures that could be, I see scuttled behind a rock or something.
Sure. You guys head out in the direction of the canyon. Roll read a bad situation.
Everybody or just Connor?
Just Tag.
We had to get it out of our system early here. I don't know if you can see that, but that'll be my first one because I have a -1 sharp, so that's going to be a single digit 1.
Okay. You can see Tag kind of take point as he's bloodhounding forward, looking for any signs of predators. He stumbles for a moment. Tag, you trip over something. He is then jerked down to the ocean floor and pulled into the darkness so quickly that you almost didn't see it happen. Everybody freezes and rolls plus sharp. Except for Tag, who just totally got snatched.
Oh, that's boxcars. Finally. So like 13 for me. No, 12
for me.
Okay.
8 for me as well.
Okay. You can see Rex and Sam. You can see in the sand places that are disturbed as though something had been slithering through it. But you don't actually see any sign of what might have grabbed Tag. Bryn, you said you rolled a full success?
Yeah.
You actually see at the edge of your flashlight a thick black tentacle that is half buried under the sand. And for some reason, you don't really feel compelled to tell your buddies about it.
Oh!
Just move my flashlight. Keep looking.
Sure. Tag has been pulled in the direction of the ridgeline. What do you do?
Lisa, I would love to see you play a mean girl at some point.
I think I power up my little propellers and try and follow as fast as I can.
Yeah,
Sure.
try to find him.
Sure. You're going to be act under pressure, Rex. You're going to get a +1 to your cool score because of the propellers.
An 8.
Okay.
No, 9.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So Tag, take a +1 right now. You're going to make a decision about what you would like to do, but Rex's success as she darts into the darkness to follow you is going to aid you in this. You're being pulled. You can feel that both of your ankles have been crushed together by a tentacle, and you're being pulled through the sand towards the ridge. What would you like to do?
I'd like to power on my scrapper and just try to sever the tentacle grabbing onto my ankles.
Cool. It's going to be kick some ass, and you're going to get an additional +1.
Okay. That's 10.
Cool. You cut the tentacles, and black ichor starts to flood your flashlight. It is about that time, Rex, that you run into the small area where you see that Tag is laying on the ground, scrambling to get the tentacle off of his ankles. This all happened very fast. Remember that you guys do have comms as well. I always forget that shit too, because I've locked you out of communication for so long, but you do have comms that will work before you go to the ridge. Sam, were you following Rex?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was also headed towards the ridge.
Cool. You get there, and Bryn jogs up behind, running a little bit slower than everybody else.
She's just like a nonchalant jog, just like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yep. How's it going?
It was a tentacle. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a tentacle. It was huge. It's corrupted. It's like the ones we saw earlier. It's Brent, do you listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah? Tentacle? You said tentacle? I hear tentacle. I cut a tentacle off earlier. Remember? I have it in my pocket.
What is the matter with you?
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with me is that we're about to jump down a deep sea rift to fight a corrupted tentacle monster, and you don't seem to give a shit about anything.
I totally care. Come on, I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
You literally fucking laughed when you said, "I totally care." I could see you shrugging.
Right. Yes, let's do it. Let's go get the tentacle right now. Let's do it. Is that better?
So I don't generally like to redo rolls in games, but So I'm trying to find a new way to go about this because I do think that Tag would be so disturbed by this radical shift in her behavior.
When you saw things earlier, they were in a transitional state. There's a chance that if you looked again, you would get new information.
Okay. Then I'll just do that.
Okay.
Whoop! Whoa!
That's the 10.
Okay. Are you using? What are you? Are you just looking into the face state, or are you using a move?
I kind of like to, we can call it a move, but I think that what it is now is less face state analysis and more his sense of empathy, his knowledge of her as a friend, as well as his experience with these creatures in his own brain.
Sure. Let's just make it a read a bad situation, but you're going to roll with a plus weird this time because you have a very strong connection to Bryn.
Oh, okay. I just rolled on a sharp and got a 10, so plus weird would be a 14, I guess.
You got 3 questions. You will be able to, because you're reading a bad situation with weird instead of sharp, you will be able to ask. You will be able to see past as well. Like you can see into the face state or not. These questions can apply to either realm.
Okay. 1 second. Sorry, I'm pulling this up. I want to know what's the best way to protect the victims in this case being Bryn, from what is happening to her.
So I got a siren. Hold on. Okay. So that's kind of an interesting. Me, who's that?
I don't know.
It's an interesting. Lisa and Trin, you guys mute your thing real quick. It's off, okay. It's an interesting query because you do actually look into the face state, and that strangeness you had just seen as kind of a general unwellness has now all manifested into the base of Bryn's spine. She is most often viewed in the face state as this glowing goddess-like entity. You saw her mother in the face state as well, who also was like this exaggerated version of that. They just seem to be bursting with magic. It looks like the very light of the continuum is shining through her. But right at the base of her neck is a very jet black coil.
A wiggly boy.
A wiggly boy, which, to answer your question of what is the best way to protect Bryn, would be to make sure that her suit isn't compromised because you're on the ocean floor.
Okay. Meaning that she may have compromised it herself?
No, meaning that if you want to get this thing out, you're kind of fucked because she's now sealed into the suit on the ocean floor.
Okay.
So you will have to think outside the bounds of what she did to you, which was like yanking it right out of the back.
Great. Well, then let me kind of use my next question to get into that and ask, what is my best way in?
You're going to have to use magic. I don't have anything in mind, but you know for sure you will have to use magic. And you may have to use her magic.
Okay. What is the biggest threat?
Everybody roll act under pressure.
Hey, I will remember this. Is that cool? 9.
Yeah.
Bryn, you don't need to roll.
Oh, darn it.
8. Casey?
Oh, no.
Well, he's
Casey
not
sounds so quiet.
rolling.
Act under pressure is add cool to that, right?
You see?
Yes.
Cool. And I'm Puck right now, right?
You are Sam.
Oh, I'm Sam. Okay. Well, then it's not a 4.
It's
it's even better.
3.
It's a 5.
Cinco. Tag, what did you roll, Tag?
I rolled a 7.
Okay, cool. So when you are now looking to see what the biggest threat here is, assuming that it's Bryn, the sand beneath your feet begins to shift for everybody. Tag and Rex, you are able to roll out of the way. Sam, you feel a tentacle wrap around your legs and pull you up into the air. Rex, Tag, you are laying in the sand, looking up, watching Sam slowly be carried into the darkness and disappear. And his flashlight blinks on a couple times and then off. And then you see Bryn calmly walking in the direction of the ridgeline, and she turns around and gives you guys a look and just goes,
I give her back too emphatic. I even use the consonants. And the thumbs. First of all, what a inappropriate gesture at this moment. But whatever it is, down, very down, thumbs down.
And these black tentacles unfurl out of the water around Bryn, pass her by, and extend to grab both Tag and Rex. And Bryn turns around and walks into the tentacles and disappears. Blackout.
Okay, character stuff aside, that's actually pretty dope to be this kind of like deep sea shadow squid queen commanding these tentacles. I just see them like cascading out from behind you. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. You're a badass when you're bad.
And smiling.
Whoa.
And smiling. Big smile on her face.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I don't know where we're going to go from there.
You're going to do some...
You motherfuckers are going to be fighting a squid monster.
Oh my
Seems
God.
possible.
Or we'll be using diplomacy on a squid monster. Let's not jump to assumptions. So we see the squid monster. So
I had all these talking points, for like the scorpion and the Sammy Serpent, but you guys just jumped right into combat.
Started attacking.
All of those notes were wasted.
Wait, we missed notes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Those creatures were gonna eat you.
Thanks, Merc, for the hot dice. They are hot.
They are hot.
We've all seen a dramatic shift in Tag's performance these weeks. He's taking supplements. He's juiced.
That's so good.
And
All
I
right.
forget who gave me my +1, but I've put it in my notes, so I will not forget, and I appreciate it.
I think that was
I think it was Wags.
Wags.
Thank you, Wags.
Right after Wags' donation to Jesse fucked you up a little bit.
Yeah, twice. Those were both good.
Those were both well used, yeah.
Those are just things that I really wanted to do, and normally I'll just let go of that kind of stuff. But with the ability to just fuck you guys like that, I was able to do exactly what I wanted to do.
What a punk.
How cool was it when Sam just took the Void Blaster, shot himself? And
what was cool about it was Casey's narration. That was so dope. Was that off the dome?
Also, really great scene between Sam and Puck. I threw that. I never told Casey he was going to have to be ready for anything like that. It just came about because of today's events. So great scene to do both of them. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. It's an absolute treat to watch Bryn just be on fire, to see a totally seemingly other side of that character. It's like so, and the the ability to keep track, and this is where I get into my like narrative nerddom, but to watch the consistency of your commitment to that event taking place is just such a thrill for me. Every time it comes back, it's like, oh, that thread's still there. Nice. And then it comes back, it's like, oh, that thread's still there. Nice. So,
Oh my
real
god.
Thanks for just going with it too, Lisa, because that's another thing that wasn't planned. You guys just didn't kill 3 of the Wiggly Boys, and so every time I just all had you roll a blanket roll, when somebody failed, a move was put in forward for a Wiggly Boy to take over one of you guys. And so Lisa, like I couldn't just come out and say, you got a Wiggly Boy on the back of your neck. So thanks for just picking up what was happening and just owning it.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, I'm just going to be really indifferent and hungry. It was very, very fun, and now I'm excited I get to stick with it because I thought you were going to take it away, and I was like, no, I'm having fun with it.
I'm not. If I have my way, it's going to stick around. So good luck, Tag.
Sorry, Tag. Sorry, Connor.
That's okay. I will just inevitably take the blame for how things are going as they're going. It's cool. I see Tag's role is slowly revealing itself in this dynamic before my very eyes. I see it. At least right now I've got the pants on to preserve that shred of dignity.
Oh.
Sure that too will be temporary.
No, me as Lisa feels very bad. I'm like...
No, you as Lisa should feel good. Like I said, it really is quite fun to watch. Just that image of you, ocean floor. I just see that shot, sort of that really wide shot of you standing there, a little bit of flashlight illuminating the darkness around you from your helmet. And it's almost like these just like giant arms are coming out from the back of you. Just these tentacles rising. It tickles me.
There's a lot of good artwork. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys submitted questions for us. We have decided to answer the question, what is your favorite sandwich? Because everybody loves a sandwich. Let's start with Jesse.
I'm a man who likes a Reuben.
Oh, you're a
It's
sauerkraut.
that simple. I am a sauerkraut person. It's that simple. I'm a Reuben sandwich man. If I can get one and a good one with a dressing, Reuben.
Delish. How about you, Casey?
This is actually a very difficult question for me. Normally, I would give sort of like a Mount Rushmore of sandwiches. It's hard to pick like a Colossus of Rhodes or like it's like a 7 wonders of the world. Like there's at least 7 sandwiches. So I'm sort of giving myself a potential wiggly, like
a Wiggly Boy sandwich.
Yes,
a Wiggly Boy sandwich.
An eel sandwich.
So, oh my gosh, it's so hard to. Okay.
You stumped us, Chad. Week 2, an unanswerable question.
I'll go with grilled cheese.
Classic.
Super classic. Super yummy. How about you, Connor?
So the easy answer would be either Reuben as well, or the like day after Thanksgiving sandwiches where you just put like mayo, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, stuffing, turkey, and just like slam that all together. But there was, when I was in high school, kind of like sophomore, junior year, really, me and my buddy Mike O'Malley just like got into this thing where if there was a party, we were uncool by conventional standards, conventional, i.e. the dictates of Hollywood. If there was a party, we just decided that we would go to the party and make sandwiches for everybody. And we like Iron Chefed ourselves, so we would come up with like this week's ingredient is key limes, and we get a bunch of key limes and figure out how to put them in the sandwich. And I'm gonna say those were my favorite sandwiches. They were horribly inefficient, and we just like took 45 minutes to make a single sandwich because we didn't know how to cook, and we just got really into like slopping a bunch of stuff together and adding all these unnecessary steps. But we'd end up with just like giant, soggy, toasted, butter-coated sandwiches. It was a lot of fun. Miss that guy a lot. He's alive. He's just in New York. Oh shoot! Fuck. He's He's in a band called Gawain and the Green Knight. GAWAIN and the Green Knight. If you go on Spotify or Bandcamp or something, you can listen. They've got an album out, and it's so terrific. It's him and his fiance together, and they make it's like pirate folk orchestral music. It's just like
That sounds amazing.
It's so good. Gawain and the Green Knight. He's also got solo work. If you look up Mike O'Malley and the Beastie Band. Thanks for letting me turn this into a plug, by the way. But yeah, I cannot recommend enough Gawain and the Green Knight. Yeah, I think the album is called Ghosties. I'll double check right now.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, Trin, what about you? Sandwich.
Okay, I've literally been spending like the last 4 minutes trying to remember what the sandwich is called, but it's very simple. So I trust that chat will know what I'm talking about. It's the sandwich that's just like fresh mozzarella and basil.
Caprese.
Yeah. Yeah, and really good tomato. Like when and like really good bread. And when all of those ingredients are good and like really high quality and delicious, it's just like the most simple sandwich, but it's so incredibly delicious.
It's making me hungry.
Great question. I'm glad we talked about it, but now upset that I didn't eat before the stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go make a sandwich.
What's Lisa's favorite sandwich?
Well, if I'm here, it's always a BLT on sourdough. But the best sandwich I ever had in my whole entire life, and I still think about it, was in New Orleans. The first restaurant, the first day, I had a Cajun chicken po' boy. And oh my God, I have never had a better sandwich. I don't think I ever will.
I almost said the shrimp po' boy that I had when I was first in New Orleans. That's my favorite all-time sandwich.
Oh yeah.
It's magic. Their bread's magic. Everything is so good. Oh, good stuff. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We want to give a special thank you to our tech guru, Mark Thomason, who's here with us behind the scenes.
Yeah!
Yay! Oh, to Aaron Human for our music and our intro. Thank you so much. And he just helped score our recaps. So we have original music now on the recaps that we're going to start throwing out every week for you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you to our mod Merc for everything she does, which is a ginormous amount of stuff, including art, fan fiction, trolling us, giving points to everybody, and moderating everything. Thank you so much, Merc. Super appreciated. Yeah, she's the best. And Zombie Orpheus for hosting us. And you can find more stuff here. They've got game night tomorrow at 6 p.m. and then Masters of the Metaverse on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we will be back next Wednesday continuing this. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. It should be interesting. So yeah, that's all I got.
for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
See you next week.